Well, I don't really want to look at a side here. I'm going to go with the prop, and that is Luther Burden III to go over 5.5 receptions. Ohio State's going to be out without Kyle McCord. He's going to play for Syracuse next year. Marvin Harrison Jr., Travion Henderson are also questionable as they debate if they're going to enter the draft or play in this game. But an underdog is a hungry dog, and hungry dogs do run faster. Missouri's really embraced that underdog narrative all season. It's led to a 9-2 record and a top 10 ranking. Ohio State will have most of their players to the Cotton Bowl, but they're also going to be swapping some five-star guys in. As you said, there's still talent on the field for them. The Tigers don't have the best defense in the world, but they can easily score. For Missouri to stay in this game, they're going to have to throw the ball down the field, which they've done all season. Quarterback Brady Cook has been fantastic, and his favorite target this season has been Luther Burden III. Burden's a 5'11 receiver, great hands, elite speed, caught 83 passes for almost 1,200 yards this season, 8 touchdowns. His elite speed creates a lot of yards after the catch. I do like his yardage total, which is listed at 75.5, but I think the safer play is the receptions. Ohio State can play really good defense. The Buckeyes allow less than 150 yards passing per game. Now, keep in mind, they were playing in the Big Ten where there's just not a lot of teams that air it out, but still very impressive number there. Mizzou's going to consciously try to get the ball to Burden in space. He's going to create yards after the catch, but I just think the receptions is the safer play here as they try to dump off and get screens to him just to see him use his athleticism to get explosive plays down the field. So I'm going to go with the over of 5.5 receptions. Yeah, it should be an interesting game. I like another prop here as well. Drew Ayler to go over 182.5 passing yards. Very low number for him that he's capable of hitting against an Ole Miss defense. The Peach Bowl matchup is going to be very exciting. A lot of storylines coming into this game. On the one hand, we have Penn State, one of the best teams in the Big Ten, but they really haven't played a lot of quality opponents. When they did face good programs in Michigan and Ohio State, they fell flat on their face. On the other side, you have Ole Miss, a 10-win team with one of the SEC's most explosive offenses. They throw the ball down the field a lot with Jackson Dart, and the Nittany Lions really haven't seen a comparable spread offense to Ole Miss all season. When you look at the Rebels, they're going to score points in this game with Jackson Dart. So Penn State's going to have to match that. Ole Miss has seen some quality defenses in the SEC. Penn State's probably one of the best defenses they've seen in the country, but still, I like them to score points. So this brings me back to Drew Ayler. He needs to get the ball vertically down the field. He's definitely been inconsistent with his passing yards this season. He hasn't broken 100 yards in 2 of his past 3 games. But with that being said, there were still some games where he threw for 220 plus, and he had good performances. He's capable of doing it. He's a sophomore, but in my mind, he is now a junior. He had the extra month to prepare for this game, so look for him to be vertically attacking Ole Miss down the field. He's exceeded this margin in 8 of 12 games, threw for 23 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Very efficient season for him, even though he did receive a lot of flack for some of his performances this year. I just think the one way Penn State stays in this game, at least on offense, is by vertically attacking Ole Miss down the field. And this is a low enough number. We're facing an Ole Miss team. If he doesn't go over this, I just really don't see Penn State playing in this game. This one's hard for me. I've gone back and forth doing a ton of research here. I hate to bet against a Nick Saban team at this point in the season because winners find a way to win. Nick Saban is a winner, but I'm going to go with Michigan on the money line here. The line movement and a few key stats have me leaning towards Michigan and put me over the edge and make me take the Wolverines here. All season, I have praised Jalen Milroe for his development since losing to Texas at home, one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the country. I can't wait to see what he looks like in 2024. But Michigan does have the team to tame him on Monday. When you look at Alabama's offensive line this season, they just haven't been great. They've really struggled to protect Milroe in high leverage situations. There's going to be a lot of those on Monday. And when you look at this team overall, they've struggled to run the football. Michigan's a team that's like a body blow. They're going to keep hitting you with shot after shot after shot. Alabama's that big explosive play team. But I think for Alabama to win this game, they're going to have to establish the run game. And I just don't know if it's going to happen. Michigan's going to keep him in the pocket, force them to beat them vertically down the field. And I just don't know if Jalen Milroe can do it in this spot. Wolverines, slow killers, wear their opponent down. It's 7th best defensive front against the run in the entire country. If they keep Milroe in the pocket, I do think it's a long day for the Crimson Tide. Still going to be a tight game, but as you said, come down the wire there. I like Michigan to get the job done. I'm not a huge fan of J.J. McCarthy, especially with a very thin offensive line. But when you look at this Wolverines team, I think they come out, really get Blake Corum going, and just body blow to Michigan and find a way to wear them down and win this game in the fourth quarter. People forget that Washington beat Texas in the Alamo Bowl last year. Like, Washington can play in this football game. We're going to take those points here. Is Texas back? I'm not so sure about that. The Longhorns do have a scary defense. They have an explosive offense. On paper, yeah, they're probably a better football team than Washington, but this game really does favor the Huskies, in my opinion. They haven't blown many teams out. This could be a knock on them, but I look at it as knowing how to play in close games. They have that desire to win. We saw it against Oregon. They wanted to physically dominate Oregon in every single phase of the game, the Pac-12 championship game. A lot of people wrote them off, including myself, but they still found a way, and that's what they've been doing all season long. Michael Penix Jr., one of the most dangerous players in the country, led the nation in passing yards this season, 33 touchdowns. The Huskies also have an elite receiver room with Jalen McQuillan and Jalin Polk. Those two guys combined for 21 touchdowns this season. They're going to be tough to stop. And the biggest issue for the Longhorns is their secondary. That's the most favorable thing for Washington coming into this game. They throw the ball down the field. They can vertically attack Texas. So they're going to play into that strength of Washington. They're going to play in that strength against Texas' biggest weakness. I just don't think it's going to go great for the Longhorns. Yes, they're going to be in the game. They have elite receivers like Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell. They have a very good run game with Jonathan Brooks. But I still trust Penix to get the job done down the stretch. Game comes down the wire. He finds a way to win.